Have you ever wondered why, despite working so hard, some people seem to struggle with money, while others effortlessly build wealth? The answer isn't in how much you earn, it's in where you place your trust and your money. What if I told you that the places where you store your hard-earned money are slowly sabotaging your future, without you even realizing it? What if the very decisions you're making now are setting you up for financial struggle, or worse, poverty? Stay with me, and you'll discover the 9 places where storing your money could lead to a future you don't want. Watch till the end, and I'll show you how to avoid them, and begin securing your wealth, starting today. Most people don't even know this, but how you store your money can either build your future or rob you of it. It's not about how much you earn, but how wisely you manage and protect it. I've seen it happen time and time again, people holding onto their money in places that make it disappear faster than they can save. These are the mistakes that keep you stuck, broke, or even worse, trapped in a cycle you can't escape. I remember, years ago, I was just like many of you. I thought a simple savings account would be enough. I kept my money at home in a drawer, thinking it was safe. But with time, I learned, sometimes painfully, that the choices I made with my money weren't just affecting my present, they were shaping my future, and not in the way I wanted. Maybe you've been there too. Perhaps you've put your trust in the wrong places, thinking that doing what everyone else does will somehow work for you. But now, I want you to listen closely, because what you're about to hear could be the wake-up call you need to change your financial destiny forever. Imagine, if you will, a scene: a person is walking to their bedroom, placing cash in a drawer. It feels safe, doesn't it? But in the background, inflation is quietly eating away at the value of that money. Or perhaps you've seen the false security of a low-interest savings account, where you believe your money is safe, but in truth, it's not growing, it's dying slowly. Or the risks of prepaid cards and stagnant investments. The risks are real. And they're all around you. As you watch this video, you'll begin to see these places for what they truly are: pitfalls disguised as safety. And by the end, you'll have the tools to avoid them. Trust me, this is the moment your financial journey changes. But before we continue, I need you to make a promise to yourself, an affirmation that you are ready to break free from these financial traps. In the comments below, write this simple affirmation: I choose wealth. I choose smart money management. This is your first step toward financial freedom. If you're ready to unlock the secrets to smarter money management and build the life you desire, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Many think that financial security is simply about earning more. But what if I told you it's not just about how much you earn, but where you place that hard-earned wealth? You may be holding on to money in places that slowly drain it away, without even realizing it. Today, we're revealing the 9 most dangerous places to keep your money, and why you should stop using them if you want to avoid financial struggles. The truth is, there are hidden traps in your daily financial decisions. These traps aren't always obvious, they're not like an obvious scam or a sudden loss. They creep into your life quietly, under the guise of safety or convenience. But the results? They are nothing short of devastating in the long run. Think about it: how many times have you felt a sense of relief knowing your money is in a familiar place, like a savings account, or under the mattress? But over time, you begin to notice something unsettling: your money doesn't grow. It stagnates. It loses its value to inflation. You ask yourself, why am I working so hard, but never seem to get ahead? This video isn't just about understanding where not to store your money. It's about the bigger picture, the bigger forces at play. The practices we're about to discuss will empower you to shift from being a passive player in your financial life to an active participant in your prosperity. Why does this matter? Because how you manage your wealth is what will either set you free or keep you stuck. These are not just mistakes, they are subtle choices that can keep you trapped in a cycle of uncertainty. Whether you want to grow your wealth or simply protect it from loss, the right financial decisions are everything. And if you're serious about achieving financial freedom, securing your future, and avoiding the trap of bad money habits, stick with me throughout this video. Let's dive in, and I'll help you understand why these common money storage mistakes could cost you big time. Now, let's delve deeper into the first of the 9 dangerous places you could be keeping your money. Let's start with a choice many of us have made at some point: keeping cash at home. It may seem like a simple solution, doesn't it? After all, who wouldn't want to have cash easily accessible, right there in a drawer or a hidden spot in the house? It's safe. It's convenient. Or at least, that's what we tell ourselves. But here's the truth: keeping cash at home is one of the riskiest financial choices you can make. Let me explain why. First, consider the risk of theft. What would happen if a burglar broke into your home? If your cash is sitting there, unprotected, it's gone in an instant. No insurance, no recovery. Your hard-earned money vanished. But that's not the worst part. What if I told you that inflation is eating away at that cash every single day, without you even realizing it? The purchasing power of your money slowly shrinks as inflation rises. What you could buy for $100 5 years ago may now cost you $110, $120, or more. And yet, your cash just sits there, stagnant. Imagine this: you have $1,000 in cash sitting in a drawer. In 1 year, that $1,000 could be worth far less. But if you had invested that $1,000, it could have grown, multiplied, and provided you with more. Let me share a real-life story. A man I once knew kept all his savings in a box under his bed. One tragic night, his house caught fire, and everything burned to the ground. His savings, his nest egg, everything was gone. Now, I'm not saying this will happen to you, but this could be your reality if you don't rethink your approach. And even if you're lucky enough not to face theft or disaster, inflation continues to silently chip away at the value of your cash. So, every year, the money you've worked so hard to save becomes worth less, while your purchasing power weakens. But don't worry, this doesn't have to be your fate. Stick with me, and I'll share with you much smarter places to store your money, places where it can grow and protect you from the destructive forces of inflation and theft. Now, let's move on to the second place to avoid: low-interest savings accounts. So many people believe that a low-interest savings account is a safe, foolproof way to protect their money. After all, it's secure, right? It's insured, and your money is safe from the volatility of the stock market. But here's the problem: this type of account is hardly the path to financial growth. In fact, it could be holding you back from achieving your financial goals. Let's break it down. A typical savings account offers interest rates that are far below inflation rates. You may feel reassured seeing a small growth in your savings, but when you look closely, the growth is barely noticeable. For example, many savings accounts offer an interest rate of around 0.1% to 1% annually. That's not even enough to keep pace with inflation, which averages around 2% to 3% per year. In other words, every year, the value of your savings account is eroded by inflation. Your money may be growing, but it's not growing enough to protect you from the rising costs of living. Imagine you deposit $10,000 into a savings account at 1% interest. After 1 year, you would earn just $100 in interest. But, let's say inflation is at 3%. That means your $10,000 is now effectively worth $9,700 in terms of purchasing power. You've lost money, even though your account balance increased. But here's a powerful alternative that so many people overlook: investing in assets that grow faster than inflation, like stocks, real estate, or even other investment vehicles. These options may carry risk, but they offer the potential for far greater rewards. In comparison, the slow growth of a savings account is a guaranteed way to stay behind in today's economy. So, ask yourself, are you willing to let inflation eat away at your hard-earned money, or are you ready to make smarter choices that actually build your wealth? Have you ever looked at your investment portfolio and thought, it's doing fine, so I'll just leave it as is for now? If so, you may be setting yourself up for a slow, silent financial disaster. Let's talk about stagnant investment portfolios. The biggest danger here is not necessarily the market itself, it's the failure to review and adjust your investments. Many people believe that once they set their investments in motion, they're all set. But nothing could be further from the truth. The financial world is constantly shifting. Markets change, economies fluctuate, and opportunities arise and fade. And if you don't keep an eye on your portfolio, it can easily fall behind the times. Think about it: you set up your investments 5 years ago, maybe even a decade ago. Back then, everything seemed to be working fine. Your stocks were growing, your mutual funds were stable, and you were on track. But what happens when the market shifts and your old investments are no longer the best options? A real-life example: a man I knew once invested heavily in a specific tech stock. 5 years ago, this company was growing rapidly, and its stock was climbing. But over the years, the company fell behind. New technology emerged. Competitors entered the market. The stock price stagnated. And because this person had never updated his portfolio, he lost a huge amount of potential wealth. If he had diversified or adjusted his portfolio based on market trends, he could have avoided this financial setback. This isn't just a case of bad luck. It's a result of neglect. The failure to regularly reassess your investments is one of the most costly mistakes you can make. If your investments aren't aligned with current market conditions, you're not gaining any ground. In fact, you might be losing. Now, let's talk about another huge mistake many people make: non-diversified assets. You've probably heard the saying, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But how many of us have ignored that advice when it comes to our money? It's easy to fall into the trap of putting all your money into one asset class: stocks, real estate, or maybe a single investment like a business venture or cryptocurrency. The idea seems appealing because you're putting all your energy into one thing, and if that thing performs well, you stand to gain big. But this strategy can be incredibly dangerous. When you concentrate all your wealth in one place, you're leaving yourself vulnerable to a single event that could wipe you out. Think about the 2008 real estate crash. Many people had invested heavily in property, assuming real estate would always rise in value. But when the housing bubble burst, it caused millions of people to lose their homes and their savings. Those who didn't diversify were left with nothing. The same can happen with a single stock. If your wealth is tied up in a company that faces a sudden downturn, you risk losing everything. Now, consider a more balanced approach. Diversification isn't about placing your money in random investments, it's about strategically spreading your risk across different asset classes. A mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, and perhaps even some alternative investments like precious metals or commodities can protect you from the downturn of any one market. When one asset class falters, others may rise to balance out the loss. Remember, it's not about predicting the future. It's about reducing the risk of financial loss by creating a buffer against market fluctuations. Diversifying your investments ensures that you have a well-rounded portfolio that is more likely to withstand the ups and downs of the economy. Are you ready to take control of your wealth? Stay with me through this video, and I'll share even more insights into how you can protect and grow your wealth by avoiding these common pitfalls. Let's continue our journey through the dangerous places where your money could be at risk. It's time to talk about something many people overlook: over-reliance on retirement accounts. Retirement accounts are often viewed as the holy grail of financial security. After all, you're saving for the future, right? But here's the hidden truth: locking too much money into these accounts can actually limit your flexibility and expose you to potential tax penalties you might not be aware of. Think about it for a moment. Retirement accounts like 401(k)s or IRAs are designed to provide long-term savings, but what if you need access to your money before retirement? It's easy to forget that the money you put in there isn't easily accessible without penalties. You can't just dip into it for emergencies, or you could face a hefty tax bill. Now, I want you to think of a real-life scenario. Imagine you've been diligently saving in your 401(k) for years. You've built up a solid balance. But then, something unexpected happens, maybe a medical emergency or a major car repair, and you need access to your money right now. Here's the catch: if you withdraw money before retirement age, you not only face potential early withdrawal penalties, but you also face the risk of being taxed heavily on that money. That emergency fund you thought was there when you needed it. It's no longer as easily accessible as you thought. And the worst part? While your retirement account may look healthy, you're tied to it, locked in place. What happens if there's a financial emergency, a business opportunity, or a chance to invest elsewhere? You're restricted because of those strict regulations. Stay with me, and in just a moment, we'll explore how you can avoid this pitfall and give yourself the freedom to act when opportunities come your way. Moving on, let's talk about another dangerous area for your money: unregulated or high-risk investments. We've all heard of the stories of people who struck it rich in cryptocurrency or jumped on the next big startup. But what happens when those high-risk investments go bad? And they can go bad, often without warning. Imagine putting your money into a sure bet on an unregulated venture, maybe a risky startup or the latest cryptocurrency boom. It's exciting, isn't it? You hear about those who made millions overnight and you think, why not me? But what happens when that boom turns to bust? I want to share with you a story of a person who put their savings into an unregulated cryptocurrency. It was the hot new thing, and everyone seemed to be making money. But then, suddenly, the value plummeted. This person lost nearly everything. Worse still, there were no regulations, no government protections, and no way to recover the money. The platform was unregulated, and once it crashed, so did their dreams. What's even more shocking is that many of these ventures are not just risky, they're dangerous. Without proper oversight, these investments can disappear overnight, leaving you with nothing. Scams, fraudulent ventures, and quick money schemes can leave you empty-handed, while those who warned against such investments go on unaffected. So, you might ask, how can you protect yourself? Diversification is the answer. Don't gamble your future on unregulated assets that can vanish in a blink. Stick to investments that are monitored and regulated, and always be cautious when it comes to anything that promises quick returns with little risk. Now, let's switch gears for a moment and discuss prepaid debit cards, another financial pitfall. Many people think that prepaid debit cards are a good way to manage their money, but here's the reality: they often come with hidden fees and no opportunity for growth. These cards might seem convenient, especially for those who don't want to carry cash, but the fees associated with them can quickly add up, draining your money without you realizing it. Think about it: with a prepaid debit card, you're essentially spending your money, and you're getting nothing in return. Unlike a savings account, there's no interest, no growth. You're just using your money and watching it slowly disappear due to fees. To illustrate this, let me give you an example. Let's say you load $500 onto a prepaid card for everyday use. Over time, you might notice small fees being deducted from your balance for various services, ATM withdrawals, monthly maintenance, or reloading fees. Before you know it, your $500 is down to $450 or even less, just from fees. On the other hand, if you had put that $500 in a high-yield savings account, it would be growing, earning interest over time. So why risk it? Why settle for a prepaid card that costs you, rather than an account that helps you grow your wealth? You deserve better than that. Stay tuned, because in the next part of this video, we'll dive into more dangerous financial choices that can hurt your wealth. Trust me, you'll want to hear what comes next so you can avoid these costly mistakes and finally take control of your financial future. As we continue, let's talk about one of the most dangerous financial habits you can have, excessive consumer debt. Now, we all know that credit cards and personal loans can seem like easy solutions in the moment. They give you quick access to cash or allow you to make purchases you wouldn't otherwise afford. But here's the harsh truth: if you're carrying a high-interest balance, those purchases come with a heavy price. Let's break it down. If you're constantly making minimum payments on credit cards, the interest can pile up, making your balance balloon into something unmanageable. The snowball effect of interest means that what started as a small debt can quickly spiral into a mountain of financial burden. Consider the story of a person who thought they could handle a credit card balance of $1,000. They only made minimum payments, assuming it wasn't a big deal. But over the months, interest compounded, and before they knew it, their balance was well over $3,000, more than they originally owed. They were caught in a vicious cycle of paying interest, with little to show for it. What's even more frustrating is that this debt doesn't just keep you from growing your wealth, it actually eats away at it. The money you could be investing, saving, or using to grow your financial future is instead going toward paying off interest fees that just won't quit. Now, imagine a different scenario. What if, instead of carrying that credit card debt, you focused on paying it off first? What if you put your money into clearing the debt rather than making minimum payments? The result would be a dramatic shift in your financial situation. Without that burden hanging over your head, you'd have more financial freedom, and the money you save on interest could be used to build your wealth. So, ask yourself, what's your current debt situation? Are you letting those high-interest payments control your financial future? It's time to break free. Now, the next dangerous trap we'll discuss is hoarding money due to fear of loss, an all too common psychological barrier that holds many people back from growing their wealth. Let me paint a picture for you. Picture someone who, out of fear of losing money, chooses to keep their savings in cash, under the mattress, in a safe, or simply tucked away in a low-interest savings account. They're scared of the market, scared of the risks, and they think by avoiding loss, they'll be protected. But what they don't realize is that in trying to avoid loss, they're actually ensuring that they lose in the long run. This person might feel comfortable knowing their money is safe and secure, but here's the truth: inflation is silently eroding their wealth. The money they're hoarding today is worth less tomorrow. A $100 bill under your mattress won't hold the same value in 5 years, it might only be worth $90 or less due to inflation. But imagine if that same $100 was invested in stocks, real estate, or even a diverse portfolio. Over time, it could grow, rather than shrink. Let me share a real-life scenario. There was a person who had saved up a substantial amount of money, but they kept it in a savings account, too afraid to take risks. They watched the stock market soar and saw others around them making huge profits, but their money sat stagnant, earning virtually no interest. Over the course of several years, their money lost value to the point that they realized they had missed out on a major opportunity to grow it. Now, think about your own situation. Are you holding on to money out of fear? Are you too afraid of loss to consider taking a calculated risk with your investments? If you're hoarding your money in a way that feels safe, you're actually jeopardizing your financial future. Here's the key takeaway: the fear of loss can keep you stuck. If you want your money to grow, you have to learn to take calculated risks, investing in the right assets that give you a chance to increase your wealth, rather than staying in the comfort of hoarding. Stick with me, because in the next part of this video, I'll reveal how to break free from these financial traps and start making your money work for you. Stay tuned, because you don't want to miss what comes next. We'll discuss the final steps to take control of your finances and turn your future into something you can be proud of. Now, I know you've been waiting for this moment, the actionable steps you can take to safeguard and grow your wealth. So, where should you keep your money instead of those risky places we just discussed? Let's take a look at smarter, more secure options. 1. Low-cost index funds or ETFs. These are powerful tools for growth. With low fees and broad market exposure, they give you access to a diverse range of stocks without putting all your eggs in one basket. Index funds and ETFs, exchange-traded funds, track market indices, so they mirror the overall market's performance, meaning they tend to grow over time as markets rise. Think of them as a simple, set-and-forget way to let your money grow, rather than worrying about individual stock picks. 2. Diversified portfolios with stocks and bonds. Diversification is a key principle in building wealth. By spreading your investments across both stocks and bonds, you're not only protecting yourself from risk, but you're also positioning yourself for steady growth. When one asset class is down, the other might be up, which balances your overall portfolio. For example, stocks may offer high returns, but they come with risk. Bonds, on the other hand, are safer but offer lower returns. Together, they create a well-rounded portfolio that provides stability and growth over the long run. 3. High-yield savings accounts. If you're someone who likes a secure place to park your money but also wants to earn interest, a high-yield savings account is a much better option than keeping money in a low-interest account. These accounts usually offer much higher interest rates, allowing your savings to grow faster while staying safe. 4. Real estate investments. Real estate can be one of the most rewarding ways to build wealth. Actively managed properties, those where you put in the work to improve them or ensure they're rented out, can generate consistent cash flow and capital appreciation. The key is to research the property market carefully, choose locations with growth potential, and make sure your investment is actively managed to maximize returns. Whether it's a single-family home, an apartment complex, or even commercial properties, real estate offers a tangible way to build wealth if done right. By taking action on any of these smarter options, you're making a conscious decision to take control of your financial future and stop the cycle of losing money to poor storage choices. But where can you go for even more guidance on this journey? I've gathered a list of some of the best resources to help you along the way. Check out the books I recommend in the description below, which will give you deeper insights into investing, wealth-building strategies, and more. You can also head over to my blog for detailed guides and tips on specific financial moves you can start implementing today. And before we wrap up, I want you to take a moment to reflect on your own financial situation. Where is your money right now? Is it in any of those risky places we discussed earlier? If so, what changes can you make to secure your financial future starting today? Remember, it's not about making drastic changes overnight, it's about small, calculated steps that will lead to long-term financial freedom. Start by reassessing where your money is, and make one small change today. This is your time to make smarter decisions, and your financial freedom is within reach. I'd love to hear from you. Which of these money storage mistakes have you made, and how did it impact you? Was it a hidden fee from a prepaid debit card, or maybe missing opportunities by leaving money in a low-interest savings account? Share your thoughts and personal experiences in the comments below. Your story could be the breakthrough someone else needs to avoid these same pitfalls. Let's start a conversation and learn from each other's experiences. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're committed to building a secure financial future and avoiding common money mistakes, make sure to hit that subscribe button. By subscribing to the channel, you'll be joining a community of smart investors who are dedicated to growing their wealth and making informed financial decisions. Trust me, you won't want to miss the upcoming videos on financial freedom, smart investing, and more. If you want more financial tips, hit that bell icon. The bell icon is your direct line to receiving notifications about new videos. When you hit it, you'll be the first to know when I release content that can transform your financial mindset and help you stay ahead of the game. You won't miss out on vital strategies and updates that could change your approach to money. Tell me what topics you'd like to learn about next. Is there a particular aspect of wealth building you want to dive deeper into? Whether it's creating a diversified portfolio, understanding stock market trends, or learning how to manage your debt, let me know in the comments. Your input shapes the content I create. I want to make sure I'm providing you with exactly what you need to grow financially. Want more in-depth resources? For those of you who want to take your financial knowledge even further, I've linked some fantastic books and articles in the description below. These resources can help you dive deep into topics like investing, saving strategies, and debt management. Be sure to check them out and start applying those lessons to your own life today. If this video has helped you, share it with someone you know. Is there a friend, family member, or colleague who could benefit from learning about these dangerous money storage mistakes? Share this video with them and help them avoid making the same mistakes. After all, good financial decisions aren't just for us, they're for everyone we care about. Check out my other videos. If you found value in today's video, make sure to check out my other videos on topics like smart investing, debt elimination, and how to create a diversified portfolio. I've included links in the description below so you can keep learning and growing your financial knowledge. Remember, this is your journey to financial freedom. Each step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. So, let's continue this journey together. Take a deep breath. Reflect on your financial situation and start implementing these changes today. The future you've been dreaming of is just one decision away.